Hey, what's going on, guys? So I just wanted to talk to you today about Overprime. Um, Overprime basically had a 11-day beta test. It had two actually beta tests, I believe. I'm not sure if there's any other private tests. There probably was some kind of like internal testing. There probably still is some kind of internal testing. I believe their goal is to release early access sometime soon here. Like I said, I'm guessing in the next 2 months. I think I said in my last video. That was my assumption. But yeah, I do think it's ready. And that's the big question of today. So TLDR, yes, I think it's ready. Um, what do you guys think? Do you guys think from the gameplay you saw, do you think that it looks like a full-fledged MOBA that is ready to be released, at least in early access? And the thing about MOBAs and early access is there can't really be early access. As a matter of fact, I feel like all MOBAs technically are early access. They're never full games. The game will never really release. Every MOBA technically is really still in beta because the game will always shift and change. Unlike something like Smash Bros, where things stop getting nerfed and it becomes a complete game and nothing changes anymore. MOBAs, as far as I'm concerned, every MOBA on the market right now is ever changing. Everyone that is alive, at least. No MOBA just stays the same. It always kind of like just shifts all the items and all the characters. So things get changed up. But basically, like, I don't know. I feel like for the game, the way it was presented in the beta, the format was great. It was probably like an hour match every single time, if your team didn't know what to do. But that was from the perspective of a solo and duo player, and sometimes trio. The matches usually lasted anywhere upwards to an hour. Usually didn't go over that. I don't think I had a single match that actually went over the hour mark, but I had very long matches that definitely got close to it. I had like a 58-minute match. I had 40-minute matches. Sometimes I had 20-minute matches. If my team was really, really good, either they'd surrender. I've ended the game at like 20, 25 minutes before. Pretty crazy how drastic the actual time of the game could change, depending. But there was a lot of people who didn't know how to play. And I played constantly. So I was pretty much able to pick up on everything there was. And if my team was really good, we'd be able to capitalize and completely dominate and then just end the game ourselves. But yeah. As for the game itself, though, I do think that there are things that can be fixed. Like, for instance, custom hero keybinds. I think that needs to be a must in the game. I hate having general keybinds. Like, I don't think Smite has any custom keybind of any sort, like, right now. So every character has to go on the same control scheme. So if a character has an ability with the right click, which is what Overprime severely suffered from, there were so many characters that had right click dashes, and then other characters would have, like, abilities there. That I think definitely needs to be addressed. I think every game is just a good quality of life should have those when they have character-based individuals that, like, and you have keybinds that can bind to each key. You should always be able to remap it to whatever character specifically you want. Because for me, I always want my dash to be on a certain button. I always want my like main damage ability to be my right click, and I think just Overprime just kind of lacked that. It was just very, I don't know, it just felt very weird. Luckily, I made Han, and he doesn't have a dash, so I didn't really have to worry about that. His main ability was a right click, so yeah, he felt really good to play. I think with Greystone, his jump, which is going to be my main when the game actually comes out, or whenever he gets released, his jump is his right click, and I really don't want to have to sit there and just press right click every single time. I'll probably remap my whole keys to, play around him, but I also like to play Sparrow, and she'd feel really bad because she doesn't have a dash, but her one ability that I need to aim, her right click, arrow pierce, just would feel really weird being on any other button aside from right click, so. But yeah, custom hero keybinds is a big thing. Stability was pretty okay. They fixed the issue where if you logged in the game, you'd be put in a different server. That was a big issue. Matchmaking was pretty okay. I can't remember the penalty system at all, like when it came to dodging and stuff. They got pretty strict with it later on. I think early on, everyone was dodging, so they got like really strict with it, which I 100% believe that they should be strict. Like, if you're in a queue, if you're actually in a match, or in the lobby selection, and you just completely dodge, I think that they should be pretty strict with it. I think it was like 10 minutes, and then it went to an hour, and then it went to 24 hours or something on a third strike. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think they should be strict with it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to why, like, people, I don't know, like, you get a roll, they get upset, or you pick a roll, your team trolls, you just gotta play the game, surrender when you can, or keep playing the game. They were also pretty brutal with, like, the report system, I believe. I love that they put people on blast. I think they should keep doing that for the actual game. I think it's just really hilarious when they, like, specifically cheaters. It wasn't actually people who were, like, being like bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were banning people who were just like toxic and then putting them on the Discord ban list, but I think most of them were cheaters. So I think they should keep doing that with cheaters. And honestly, I think for the abusive behavior, they should do that too. If people are just being absolutely toxic and they're slurring and like all this other stuff in chat, um, or they AFK and throw several times, like there's a history of it. I definitely think that like putting them on blast is just kind of I don't know. It's kind of a toxic mentality, but it works. It's effective. The community knows them. They get reported. They're known, right? Like no one wants to play with them. It's just like, come on. Like I think it's a really good system in general. It's just funny. Keeping track of that seems like a hassle. Definitely don't devote all your resources to that, but it's a very important thing to keep a positive gaming community, especially in the MOBA scene, because MOBAs are known to have toxic communities. So I think it's a good idea. I don't think a Discord is the only outlet they should do that on. I don't know if they're doing it anywhere else. I don't know about like Twitter. I think that's probably a bad idea. But hey, wherever you can reach out, Twitter, maybe just post a screenshot of the Discord log. Same with the forums or something. If there is forums, I don't even know if there was Overprime forums, but yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said, the game actually runs really well. I was able to keep a consistent FPS for the most part. Sometimes I'd have these weird drops, and I'd be like, "Why is my game actually dropping super severely?" I didn't really understand. I didn't know if it was just a server thing, if the game was just dropping frames because my ping would shoot up randomly, or my internet was messing up. But most of the time, the game was running pretty well. No real bugs either. I had some bugs running into like the jungle where I'd like get stuck on an obstacle, and sometimes I'd rubber band into certain places, but for the most part, it was pretty stable. I would like one giant change with Kwang or Han, because when I'm in the jungle throwing his sword, I think the collision with certain characters like moves feels really odd. Like when I throw Han's sword in the jungle, I know I'm never gonna hit my target. It's going to hit a wall, especially around a corner. It doesn't glide or smoothly transition to the spot that the reticle is going. If there's a wall in front of me and my marker is on the ground ahead, it's like I see it directly on the ground, nowhere near the wall, and I throw my sword, it will hit the wall and it won't go anywhere near the marker on the ground. So I know that's probably more of a vision thing where I have to pay attention to what's in front of me, but I definitely think that they should fix that. Um, Personally, just I don't know what other character suffers from this. Maybe Rampage's Rock might be another example, but it doesn't really like you can throw it up, but it doesn't really just go down directly. It goes pretty far and straight, so he probably doesn't suffer from that much of an issue in the jungle. But Han does, like I said, I made him. So I feel like stuff like Greystone's jump or Fang Mao dash might get stuck on the wall as well. I didn't play any Fang Mao, and Greystone wasn't in the game, so can't really tell. Another thing that would be nice is like other quality of life changes, some abilities that are just like too hard to see or too hard to tell if you threw it out, like Shinbi's wolf. Like just general character changes would be nice to make them feel a little bit better. Just visual updates, stuff like that. Models look amazing. The game actually visually looks amazing, graphic wise. I think the game looks fantastic. I think it's one of the best looking remakes out there. When you look at stuff like Fault and I don't know, I guess Ethereal, but that doesn't really count. And you compare it to Predecessor. I think Predecessor technically looks a little nicer in my opinion. That's going off my memory. I'm not looking at like a comparison, just off my memory. But the game feels more, I don't know, like actiony, cartoony versus Predecessor. Like Predecessor feels like their real MOBA, what they wanted, and then Overprime feels like the fun, wacky version, which I like way more. I think I'm more in tune with the fast-paced, crazy dynamic action of Overprime versus Predecessor. It's definitely my favorite. Predecessor was my favorite until Overprime actually came. I've played Overprime before. I completely skipped over the first beta. I played like 2 matches as like a mage. Didn't really think much of it. Wasn't really paying attention. I was really focused on Predecessor at the time. And I remember I was playing a lot of Monster Hunter too, so I was completely distracted. But the second time the beta came around, I played for every single day, pretty much, and played a lot of matches. And I definitely think this is my favorite entirely. I don't think that's probably going to change, unless Ethereal does something crazy. I like I said, I just had a really good time doing like in the actual beta. So I'm hoping that this one actually is the one that like pushes further. And I'd like them all to succeed personally, but this is the one I'm definitely like, man, I hope this one blows up. And I think it might blow up. I'm not sure what people are looking for with the Paragon remake. I'm not sure if they're looking for just Paragon or something new, but this is basically a new experience. This is what we're looking for, in my opinion. Um, and this is what Paragon I think needed. It still has its fun run mode. The map is pretty cool. The portal system is amazing. It's supposed to be fast paced. I hope they do speed up the game as well. I think gold generation needs a massive buff. I think universally, just the gold you gain just from being in the match, revenge kills, stuff like that. Like you need to get more gold generated because people can really just get a ginormous lead, and there is nothing you can do. You are just absolutely at the mercy of the enemy team for the longest time. It's stall fest. You can definitely defend for a while and inhibitors, even though it's not like the tower damage isn't that strong. It's not like it's impossible to like not have a comeback or whatever, but it's very, very difficult because the way the gold system works, someone can get really far ahead and then it's over. Also some support nerfs should be like, you need a support, and if you don't have a support, it's just over. Specifically, really, if you have Muriel, you pretty much lose the game. From my experience, she's always been really strong, and she still is really strong. The predecessor as well as Overprime, so like things like that, like really stall the game out and make it really one-sided. So I think gold generation would be a really important factor to that because if you're like the highest in your team and you only have 4 items and then 2 of them on their team have 6 items because they've been steamrolling you, maybe they're a 5 stack, you should have a fighting chance by getting revenge kills as well as just getting more gold in general. Maybe they can do like a support system for people who are behind. Um, I'm not a developer, so I don't know if this is a good idea, but maybe like give more gold to the team that is behind, if they're behind by a certain amount. Like let's say they're 10k gold down, they get per second maybe like 6 gold instead of the 3 gold, because normally I think you get 3 gold each. So yeah, I think stuff like that would be very nice for the game in general. I also want to speed up the item because like you can get full build by like 20-30 minutes, and then like you're constantly fighting for the next 40 because everyone else is just catching up. So I think just generating more gold early would be really nice. Like being able to hit full build 15-20 minutes in. The game feels like it's supposed to be very fast paced, but some people just hit full build and other people are just struggling. So like I said, other gold sources like objectives and towers and other stuff like that definitely should be rewarded with more gold. Just in general, I want to speed up the actual process of getting your items because I think that's the most important thing, getting full build. If you're not dominating, you're probably not getting full build. Getting kills is way too effective in the game. I think they should lower the actual kill gold percentage and just even it out everywhere else, so like everyone on the team basically has a chance to get full build. But yeah, like I said, for the most part, game feels ready. Um, Everything feels really smooth. I think every role you play feels really good. Playing a support on a proper team feels good. Playing an assassin, well, playing a warrior in the jungle. I don't like anything. I didn't like playing really Countess or Kalari in the jungle, which are the only 2 assassins. I think they're pretty. I think Countess is really good, but I think she's a better mid currently right now than an assassin, and I think Kalari is really bad. I don't like Kalari at all. She's really fun to play, but I just don't think she's doing well as of right now. I definitely think she needs some help. I've never liked Kalari though. I don't like her playstyle. I don't like assassins, so I'm very biased. But it was much easier to play Han, Bang Mao, and Grux in the jungle than it was Kalari, because Kalari was just you were getting absolutely dogged on. I was playing by myself. I didn't have a 5 stack to play with or anything, so like you don't have that coordination. So when you go in, you might kill one person. You're just absolutely gonna get blasted trying to go invisible and run away, especially after she got nerfed. People were struggling with her greatly because people who were really good were kind of like noob stopping with her, and then they nerfed her, so she's even worse in a team setting. It was just, I don't know. I think she needs some help. So assassins probably need some help. There's only 2 of them. There's a lot more assassins coming in the future, though. At least if they're porting all the characters from Paragon, there's going to be a lot of them. So I'm not really too worried. I do hope they buff her. I hope they make Countess, make it easier to jungle as Countess. Maybe add a better jungle blessing. I don't really like. They also, oh, that's another thing they should add. Another quality of life, or not even quality of life, just like an upgrade. The starters need to be more incentivized to grab. They aren't that good. The only incentive to get a starter is so you can blink away faster, which realistically could save your life a lot. But the actual stats you get were like really minuscule in comparison to like getting your first item. They need to be able to like ramp you up to a point where you're just, it can justify. It needs to be, or it needs to be a really, really low cost. Because I think they were fairly expensive for the stats that you got, which was virtually nothing. I know in Smite they make it really, really worth it. Basically what they do is like you get a starter. The starter is pretty decent starting off, but you need one, and then at level 20 it levels up. Maybe they can do something like that instead of just having to level up your starter, because there was actually no incentive to do that, and make the dash on the starter, um, basically make it a full item at level 20 or level 16, I guess, and then make the dash on the item a low cooldown the first time you buy it, or maybe it scales with level. Like every level, the cooldown goes like gets lower and lower despite you not upgrading it. I don't know. Whatever they want to do, just make the starters better. I don't think they're good at all. I don't think you even really need one, honestly. I had a couple of matches where I just didn't grab a starter. Unless I was jungle, there was really no reason to have to grab a starter. I think jungle's the only one that really needs one. Um, Especially going into like solo, there was no reason to have them. I never saw anyone prosper who did build the full starter. Not a single person was actually just dominating or anything. They were always behind because they lost a lot of gold, unless they were just absolutely dominating because of their team. But their damage in general was very lackluster. I had a carry game where I think it was Twidbless I was fighting with Sparrow. He built the starter, and I was like, wow, he does not do any damage. And I'm sitting there with like my first crit item that gives me 75 power and 25 crit, and his starter gave like what 20 power I think, and a little bit of attack speed and some health, and then he had the dash, so he can dash more than me, but I two shot him, so it didn't really matter. It was just, I don't know, it didn't feel good to play, and I really wanted the starters to be good. I kept building it early on, and then I realized they were really bad, so I stopped. I was like, yeah, these are not worth to get. After like my third or fourth match, I realized, I was like, yeah, these are really bad. I still would upgrade the jungle one. It's also not really worth upgrading. I think they're pretty bad. But getting the first jungle starter is still really important, so I don't really think it's hard to contend with the third-person MOBA scene, especially one with verticality. I don't know if there is another one on the market that has verticality aside from Fault. Smite's the only third-person MOBA, action MOBA that's on the market that is huge that I know about. So Overprime, just being this fresh, new, kind of fast-paced MOBA in terms of actual gameplay, not in terms of item building, which I hope they speed up. Definitely everything they showed, the game functions, the characters feel good for the most part. The items feel really good. I hope they add more, but the items that were in the beta felt really good. There were some unique items. The roles felt very impactful. Having one of everything that were really good felt really important. Like your whole team mattered. Team fights mattered a lot. Like you being with your team play in general, all of it really, really mattered. So getting objectives mattered a lot too. Like it feels like a real MOBA. It feels like an objective-based game that, with a lot of fighting incentive. Sure, there's a lot of quality of life things they need to update. There's a lot of things they need to change. But is it ready? I think they can launch the game as is, even without the updates. They could have launched the game as is and slowly progress further. I hope they do make some of those quality of life changes I recommended and then launch the game. But as for stability and performance and server issues, everything was pretty solid. Obviously, the max player count was like 11,000, I think. So we don't actually have an accurate representation of what the game will actually be like on launch, because more people will probably be playing on launch than they were in the beta. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's my hope, anyways. But as just for the beta in general, the stability, most people could join anyways, but like a lot of people opted out and a lot of people dropped off near the end. Obviously, they're going to be more like, you need more characters to be more incentivized to play the game. People probably just got bored of playing the same, like what, 8 or it was like 12 or 16 characters. People probably just got bored. They added one midway, which was crazy to me. Like, as a developer, Netmarble I think makes good games. I don't know if they make good decisions. I've played some of their games, but they definitely seem to be publishing this game well. And the studio behind this project, I can't remember the studio name right now. I'm blanking for some reason. But the studio behind this project also, they're very passionate about it. So, like, I don't know. I feel like this game is gonna blow up. I feel like this is the Paragon remake. That's that's going to be the remake that everyone was looking for, even though it's not technically like the proper remake. It's not like the predecessor's bad. This game is probably going to come out somewhat soon, to my knowledge. It probably isn't coming out in December. They said early access. They said soon, so I'm assuming it's not going to be 5-6 months down the line. It's going to be like 2-3 months down the line. The beta like ended like what, like 2 weeks ago or something. So, but yeah, overall, I think the game's ready. I'm really excited. Can't wait till they add more characters. Can't wait till they just like add more items and optimize the game a little bit more. and then just release it in early access. I'm definitely, whatever the price is, hopefully it's not too expensive for early access. If it's not free, which it probably won't be, probably be like a little bit paid for. It's early access after all. Praying it's free. Um, but I'll pay whatever I need to. I'm very excited for the cosmetics. They had some promising cosmetics in the game. Hopefully they add some really good ones. I'm very excited for other characters they're going to be porting over, and their cosmetics as well. But overall, this is definitely going to be my main like PvP game. I'll probably be uploading a lot more content on Overprime once it comes out. I definitely will be. I'll still be uploading content for Predecessor. I'll still be uploading content for um Ethereal whenever that comes out. Like I'll do the other Paragon remakes, but I think as for my main PvP game and my main MOBA and my main Paragon remake in general, Overprime is definitely gonna take the cake. I had way too much fun during the beta. Um, it was just it was a nostalgia trip, and it was honestly just kind of, I don't know. It was ecstasy. It was so fun to play. It was so refreshing to have that in the market after playing so much Smite, especially because when Paragon shut down, like everyone flocked to Smite. It for another 3D MOBA or just other games like League, it feels so good to have this back and have it on the horizon. Like I can't believe it's actually releasing anytime soon. I'm very excited. But yeah, I think it's ready and I'm excited. So I hope you guys look forward to the content that I'm going to be creating when the game actually comes out. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry, I'm a little sick. Allergies, spring. I hate spring so much right now. But I'll be covering more stuff in the future around like Lost Ark and PSO2. And then whenever Overprime releases, that's going to definitely be dominating my channel for the most part. But yeah, look out for my if you guys are interested as well as for like MMO content, look for Lost Ark and PS2 stuff coming in the future. PS2 is having an update, and Lost Ark just had a big update for Vulcan. But I wanted to get this video out, just basically cover my thoughts. I might make another video, like a Q&A with a friend. I was planning on doing that earlier, but I got distracted with some other games. So look forward to that. But have a good one. Enjoy the rest. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.